Hello, my beautiful souls. Happy Monday. Happy almost end of March. This is day 27 through 30. Anchoring in our reflections and preparing for our moonfire ceremony for the full moon. This is a poignant check-in for me because even when we're not live, the real work is still happening in quiet, in the rituals, and in how we're honoring ourselves. Today we're going to talk about anchoring, consistency, honoring our energy, preparing for deep release, and creation. We're headed into a 4 frequency as we head into April, this cosmic season, our pink moon, an invitation to release. An invitation to release what no longer serves. An emotional detox, if you will. Mercury is in Pisces. We've got Black Lilith in Sagittarius, which is equaling truth-telling, boundary setting, and reclaiming our voice. You know those moments when life seems chaotic? Like nothing seems like you're doing enough? But those small daily choices that you are doing, those rituals, they truly are creating a massive change. We're going to talk about anchoring ourselves into consistency and alignment and how it really does shape our reality, our identity, our nervous system, and our ability to receive. We're going to talk about pattern recognition, those tiny daily actions that equal nervous system safety and clarity and flow. Going to talk about the focus of transformation, daily reality creation that equals training our mind, body, and our soul to trust, to receive, and expansion. This is the pause. And the anchoring actions. Let's talk about 5D wellness and identity calibration. I have all kinds of rituals. So let's start. I'm going to share some of my personal anchoring practices. Not sure where you're at. It has been an interesting last few days. The 27th was a Thursday, I believe. And then Friday, I was so engrossed in creating and being in energy and motion. And then it's like somebody just pulled my plug. I just really can't even describe it. It's this just feeling that I'm just supposed to sit and reflect and create. And I often have to remind myself that so much of our creative process truly is in the silence. It happens in these practices and these reflections. It happens when we slow down enough to allow our nervous system to kind of declutter, right? We've got to clear our intuition to create faster discernment. So even though I wasn't showing up here live with you, I want to share what was going on behind the scenes, because the same is true for you. We have to honor our energies, our minds, our body, our soul, our identity. And that doesn't come when we're constantly hustling and feeling like we have to push through. Some of the tools that I use when I'm feeling this heaviness is my somatic practices, my body mapping. We've talked about it. We take our deep breaths in and feel into where these energies are landing in our body. You know, where are they in our chakra system that we can relate to? Are they in the front, in the back, on the right, on the left? So mapping that and paying attention to what's going on in these little voices and catching yourself, what you're telling yourself. Because just because you're not going all out and full throttle doesn't mean that you're not showing up. It doesn't mean that you're not keeping your word and honoring yourself. Like, you are honoring yourself by listening and by being true. Remember, we were recalibrating to this feminization of wealth. We're stepping away from the masculine and undoing the hustle that we've been programmed into. What does this look like when I'm not in front of the camera? It looks like sitting in the garden, listening to my meditation. It looks like journaling. It looks like reflective conversations with my inner child. And listening, not overriding. It looks like energy work and clearing. It looks like listening to my language, because it's so easy to say, oh man, I feel stuck. But I'm not stuck. I'm just integrating. Like, there's no stuckness. So I remove that word and replace the language with I'm evolving and evaluating and sitting in strength and courage. I'm aligning my micro actions, my thoughts, my words, my intentions with what is on my heart to receive. I would love to know how these last few days have felt for you. What are your practices? What have you noticed about your internal patterns? Have you been resisting, or have you been in alignment? I will say that even when I'm off social, I feel the support and the energy of this community. And I thank you for showing up in my life and in your own lives and in your own practices. It's so powerful. That is where creation begins. The last few days, I've been sitting in reflection, reviewing my capacity to receive, really maintaining my clarity so that I am honoring my energy. It's been interesting today as I've taken walks and done my breath work and been visualizing into the month of April and feeling these pink moon, full moon energies already as Venus shifted into Taurus today at noon, and celebrating the small victories that have happened over these last 30 days that we've been together. Honoring that my capacity to receive has increased. I've been moved emotionally several times today, just kind of out of nowhere. You know, like I've walked through the living room and just burst into tears. And that's okay. Like that is normal when we're processing and allowing ourselves some space to breathe and to recalibrate and to anchor into this orientation. We've done a lot of work this month. We've been consistent. We've been showing up. We've created a new identity that we have allowed ourselves to up level into. We've set new intentions in our timelines and held on to those to anchor them in and create stability in our 3D reality. So you're allowed to take a few days and be still and allow yourself some time to review what you're releasing, what old guilt, what is it time to let go of? The shame that's just been sitting there. It's not really yours. It's just been part of your programming. What have you been over responsible for? What invisible labor are you hustling through? As we're preparing for these rituals, what are some of the tools that you use? Journaling for me, indeed. All right, I'm not sure what this is. All right, 15 minutes. Flash goal? We shall see. All right, so preparing, ritualizing our preparations, even journaling, breath work. Oh, there's been a lot of breath work today. A lot of breath work, a lot of release, a lot of in my garden movements, somatic movements, downward dogs, planks. I learned something the other day that holding a plank for 3 minutes helps to balance your brain hemispheres. It also is a really good workout. So I initiated that over the weekend. I added that into my ritual, my somatic release, and my movements. And then symbolic clearings. Like, what are some things that need to go that are in your space? What are you looking around and what can you see that it's just time? It doesn't bring you joy. It can go. Hello, everybody. I hope that y'all are having a beautiful day. Thank you so much for joining in. We are talking about how life sometimes feels chaotic. Sometimes what we do never seems like enough, but these small daily actions create choices, and they, over time, create consistency and massive shifts. Even though I haven't shown up here live, I've still anchored in to consistency and alignment, because that is truly what shapes our reality, our identity, our nervous system, and our ability to receive. When I first started showing up on TikTok and doing these, not even lives, just videos, I was so nervous. And I was so nervous about not showing up as well as I was about showing up. I was terrified of inconsistency. And then I realized that I have to show up authentically more than I have to show up consistently. Although consistency feeds the algorithm. It doesn't necessarily always feed our soul. Consistent actions, even in ourselves, rituals and routines are so important to anchoring this in. I was on a walk earlier today and I had this visual about magnets. Like, manifestation is about magnetism. And when you think about a magnet doesn't waver. A magnet isn't like, oh wait, I'm not going to be a magnet, or I'm not going to pick up that piece of metal right now. I'm going to be choosy about it. No, like, a magnet is always a magnet. A magnet is consistent with what it wants and what it's attracting. And that just hit me today when I was on my walk, about our mental state. And even when we're kind of feeling off, or not 100% in the flow, like maybe we're a little fractaled and shattered, it really does matter where we let our mind go, the thoughts that we allow to be we know from quantum physics that every little particle affects an entire field. And when we think about that in magnetism, when we think about that in our thoughts, in our bodies, in our feelings, in our spirituality, how we show up, like, every little piece has a profound potential Think about astrology. Astrology cycles. Astrology is consistent. It's repetitive. It has conscious creative patterns. And matriarchal wisdom shows us that daily rituals equal sacred energy. Something that I do as a daily anchoring moment is, before I even really get out of bed and put my feet on the floor, I take time to be in my body. I take time to put my hands on my heart and to focus on my intentions, on what am I building, and that I'm allowed to take time and space to create. And before I get out of bed, I take time to choose alignment. These tiny patterns, these tiny daily actions that I do, they allow my nervous system to feel safe. They give me clarity and allow spirit to flow. These transformative focuses allow me to consciously train my body, to consciously train my mind, to consciously communicate with my soul, and to trust and receive. Ashes hold a sacred space. You know, we talk about 5D wellness and identity calibration. That is all based in consistency. Consistency equals our calibration, that fine-tuning our internal system to match the desired reality. There are myriads of modalities and integration tools. We've talked about some inner child work, shadow work, human design, somatic mapping. I love astrology, numerology, tarot, Myers-Briggs, the Enneagram for pattern recognition. Consistency versus inconsistent. Like the sun rises every day, doesn't it? It's unwavering. Our rituals should emulate that cosmic rhythm. What are some of the opportunities that you notice when you're consistent versus when you're inconsistent? I'm going to share with y'all just a few things that I do, my practical anchors for my daily reality creation. I have a morning ritual. It's 1 to 3 minutes, depending. And it's before I even get out of bed that I visualize. I take deep breaths and use my entire lung capacity. I'm grateful for the life force that moves through me. And I set my intentions for the day. I have a midday check-in. I often call it my napitation. It's just a midday check-in to assess my energy, my emotions, and give myself a reset if needed. And then in the evenings, I have reflection. I note one aligned action and one lesson. And then I journal. I observe patterns and share insights from the day. I actively perform energetic hygiene. I notice absorbed energies and release any guilt or shame or responsibility that isn't mine, that I'm carrying just because it's been programmed and I'm used to the habit and the feeling. I have reminders on my phone to remind me to breathe. I have reminders to take a nap, to take a moment out for reflection here and there. I have sticky notes to reinforce my habits, to remind me of the habit that I'm stacking. I can't be expected to remember it all. We're not. There's so much, especially when we're anchoring new identities in. We need these reminders. We need these habit stacks to set ourselves up for success as our neurotransmitters and are forming new synapses. as the pink full moon appears on April 1st, what is one aligned act you're committing to for this cycle? Every tiny little ritual can create unseen breakthroughs. Notice what's hard. Notice what's easy. Pay attention to where you're resisting and to where your flow is. There's power in these cycles. There's power in this spiral. Are you using a platform to raise capital and spiral is your story. Like, recognize the story and then reflect in the story. Is it a story, a pattern that you want to keep? What's the insight that's there for you to garner? And then does it require action? What is the action that you're going to take? Does it need to be released? Is it ready to let go? It makes the process of raising capital much more smoother for both you. Or is it something that you need to do for yourself? Go ahead and click the link. Is it an inward reflection that needs to come to light? This consistency, we're training your mind, we're training your body, we're training your soul to trust and to receive and to thrive. If you need help mapping your rituals and routines, connect with me to map your 5D wellness routine, to calibrate your identity, and create a system that expands and holds you. The cosmos reward alignment. Small, consistent actions equal your greatest power. Show up and watch the unseen ripples that you create in your life. I would love if you would share your reflections, your releases, your rituals in the comments. Let's hold space for each other as we prepare for the moon fire, for the pink moon on April 1st. It's about honoring yourself. Even behind the scenes, it's about honoring yourself and your practices is where this true power lives and thrives. So keep showing up, keep anchoring it in, and keep receiving. I hope that y'all have a beautiful evening, and I thank y'all for being here with me in this month of March. It has been quite the process of anchoring in and recalibrating and orienting as I've gone through some big life transitions, and it's been an honor and a pleasure to be able to share this consistency and this identity recalibration with you. I thank y'all for being here, and I will see y'all tomorrow, the 31st, the last day of March. We'll talk about April as we put March to bed and activate what is coming next. I hope you all have a beautiful evening. Thank you for being here with me. Bye for now.